Your goal for today is write and solve equations involving direct variations. So we are going to write equations and then we are going to solve the equations that involve direct variation. Now, what is direct variation? We'll talk about in a minute, but this is something that you already did it last year. And so some of you might have a memory of it, but we are going to relearn it. Before we start solving the question, let's look at the graph of proportional versus non-proportional linear function or relationship. Linear, again, the graph that has a line or a graph that looks like a line. Proportional versus non-proportional. So proportional is the one that is passing through the zero. So this is my graph, and if you notice, this is the origin, and this is the center, this is a zero, so this is passing through zero. So every x value is same as every y value. That's for sure. This is proportional. Non-proportional, on the other hand, is where the graph is linear line, but it is not passing through the origin. No, it has a y-intercept, which is a number other than a zero. So in this case, this is a 2. So the y-intercept over here is a 2. And this is non-proportional. So this, I can think of an equation where 2 is the starting value or initial phi, and then there's a slope that goes on. So this is the main difference between proportion and non-proportion. Let's fill in these blanks. Linear relationships can be written in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, what is your slope-intercept form? Y equal mx plus b. How do you know this one is slope-intercept form? Because it has two things, or two information. First information is it has a slope. So slope, and the other one is intercept. That's why it is called slope-intercept form. Slope, intercept. Where m represents the slope, we calculate the slope using rise over run for the graph so far. And then b is the y-intercept, or the beginning value, or the starting point, however you want to remember it. If the b, the y-intercept, is any value other than 0, such as -2, +5, 7, 11, any number, it can go forever in both sides. So any number other than 0, this is called non-proportional. The way I have memorized is, I tell my brain, passing through 0 is proportional. Not passing through 0 is non-proportional, because not is same thing as non. If you want to use that idea to remember or memorize this. Proportional, passing through 0. Non-proportional, not passing through 0. If b, the y-intercept, is 0, which is the origin of the graph, 0, 0, this is called proportional. Proportional means every y value is same as x value, but there could be a constant of proportional over here, proportionality over here, which is also known as k. So the equation for the proportional graph is y equals kx, which is same as y equal mx. I never said plus b because it should be plus 0, and you don't have to write the plus 0 in math. So y equals kx, y equals mx. On your linear transformation, you must have seen or remember as y equals ax. So whenever something is being multiplied by the x, that's basically the slope or the constant of proportionality in this case. Now, what is direct variation? Direct variation equations can be written as blank, where k is not equals to 0, y over x. This means that the constant of variation or proportionality can be written as k equals, oh, I have to write the equation over here. Y equals kx. K can be identified as, it's simple as that, two-step equation. I can show you how it was written. So I'm going to mirror image it. If I have to find the k, that means this x needs to be divided on both hand sides. So k is basically y over x. That's how they got that equation. It's just one step equation. I had to isolate the k. K is same as slope. The keywords that you use over here are y is directly proportional to x. So the first keyword that you might see in your questions would be directly proportion, and the other one varies directly. So if you notice, it tells you direct is there. So it is direct variation or directly proportion or varies directly. Super easy. It's not very technical. Simple, easy math over here that we're gonna do. So I'm gonna probably help you with 1 or 2 examples over here, and then I'm gonna let you solve all others by yourself because they're super easy. All you have to do is identify, follow my process, and just keep working like that. The value of y varies directly. So highlight the keyword, y varies directly with x. So this keyword tells me that y varies directly with math, and in one way, the fancy way of writing this in math is y varies directly with x. That's how you write in a fancier way with just symbols. So y varies directly with x. So we set up our portion as y came first, so it is y on the numerator, and then it is an x, so x is going to be the denominator. So y over x is equals to y over x. I have set it up my proportion. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to read my question one more time. I'm going to plug in the numbers. So if x equals 2, so the x value is 2. So be careful. X was my denominator, so x2 should go in the denominator. Then y is 12. So they're talking about if x is this, y is that. It is on the same hand side. X is 2, y is 12. So 12 goes over here on the numerator. Equals to, what is the value of x? Oh, x is question mark. You can write question mark over here, or you can write x, whatever you feel like, when y is 60. So this is what you have to be careful about. When you are replacing these letters with the numbers, don't mess up on the orders, because if you mess up on the order, you mess up on the question. Some of you already figured out what is happening over here, but there are so many ways you can do this question, to be honest. 12 became a 60. How? It was a simple multiplication process, if you can see the pattern. So I'm just going to show this question with the pattern. So it was 12 was multiplied by 5. That's how I got 60. That means I'm going to multiply the same number by the denominator, so times 5. So x should be 10. This is one way of doing this question. Okay, so this is one way. If you can figure out that easy pattern, fine. It's easy. But if the numbers are decimal or the numbers are super big and then they're not that good numbers, just like you have over here, then we're gonna do the same process, but it will require additional middle step. So let's see the next question. If the value of y varies directly, highlight your keyword, directly proportional to x. So y is directly proportional to x. So it should be y over x equal y over x. And let's replace our letters with the numbers. X equals 7.5. So the first x value is 7.5. The value of y is 15. What is the value of y? So this time y is missing, so y is question mark, or y is here. What is x? X is 5. You can figure out the pattern, but this one is not a straightforward pattern because 7.5 became a 5. It was multiplied. It is always multiplication, by the way. So this one is multiplied by a decimal number. If you can't really figure out, it's okay because I can just do the math without that. All you have to do is, it's called cross multiplication. I'm gonna cross multiply the things. So 5 needs to be multiplied by 15. And y is cross. You make a cross multiplication. Y needs to be multiplied by 7.5. So 5 times 15. What is 5 times 15? 75? Let me check. Yeah, 75. So 5 times 15 is 75. And 7.5 times y is 7.5. Y, like that. I need to find the y, so 7.5 is divided on both hand sides. And I will have the value of y, which is 75 divided by 7.5. That would be 10. So y value is 10, and that's my answer. With the practice, your brain is probably going to do all of that step in your head, and then you will have the answer right away. And if you have more practice, sometimes you don't really have to write the middle step. You can just do the multiplication and write the final numbers right away. So it is super easy. So that's number one, was looking at the pattern. So first method was I can look at the pattern, and the second one, so method 2 is I am just applying, or I'm just solving it like normally. I would recommend this one because sometimes the pattern is not there. I mean, pattern is there, but it's not a good pattern. Okay, it's not multiply by 5 or multiply by 2. It's some ugly number like multiply by 0.15. So we need to be good at this method. All right, I'm just gonna do one more question, and I'm gonna let you solve the other ones on your own. Question number 7, since I like number 7, and this question is actually a little kind of tricky on the wording part, so you have to read carefully. In electric current, the voltage across a resistor is directly proportional to the current running through the resistor. Okay, read one more time because I didn't understand what it said. In the electric current, the voltage across a resistor. So the voltage across a resistor is, so I'm just going to highlight the keyword. Voltage is directly proportional to current. There you go. I don't have to write, or I don't have to pay attention to any words over there, because the key over here is voltage is directly proportional to the current. That's it. Voltage is directly proportional to the current. That's all was important in that sentence. So voltage, I'm going to write voltage over current equals voltage over current. Always name them how you see them. You can use V and C as well, like they're letters, but this is much better. If a current is 14 amps, amps is a unit for the current, but I understand from here the current is 14. So the first number over here in the denominator, current is 14, produces 490 volts. So this one is this voltage, so that's 490. Okay, done. How many volts? So the question mark is the voltage. I'm going to write V for the voltage this time. The current is 3.5 amps, so 3.5 over here. All right. Again, now that you can't really find the pattern because it's decimal and it's crazy, so I'm just going to multiply. 3.5 multiplied by 490 equals V multiplied by 14. So you can do direct multiplication as well. 3.5 times 490. Oh wow, it's 1715. So 1715 equals 14 volts, 14 V. So my next step is divide by 14 on both hand sides. So volts or voltage will be, let's see, what is 1715 divided by 14? Wow, 122.5. So yes, it was better using the second method. That's what I was telling you, that it's always good to go the math in the direct way. So second was better because I would have not think about that decimal numbers. Whole numbers are much easier, decimals are not. So there you go, we have our answers. So this is how you're gonna do all the questions. Make sure you highlight your keyword every time so you don't miss it on the day of the exam or quizzes. And then write that initial fractions. Show that whatever you're multiplying, you can do this step in the head or in the calculator directly and you can just follow this, that's fine with me. But go ahead, finish these remaining questions on your notes at this time.